Good evening, everybody out there in YouTube land. You see the people on the screen. We're here to talk some baseball. Coming to you a little late, but familiar faces. But as always, here to talk some baseball. We are here. We are here to talk. Like I said, baseball. Playoff baseball is almost on us. We're getting close. We're here with first and foremost, Tyve through. Tyve through, how you doing, brother? Everything all right?
Everything is good in the Valley of the Sun. Playoff baseball is around the corner, so I'm getting hyped. My team is doing well. Don't know about both of yours, but everything is good in Dodger land right now. So we're rolling on all cylinders. So of course I'm happy.
Yeah, you got a big injury that happened in your hands actually with starting pitcher Buehler going down, man. I think that's going to hurt your playoff chances. We'll see. We'll see if that holds true. But you got a big arm coming back in Dustin May, no?
That is true. That is true. Of course, Trav's second favorite pitcher, Walker, Texas Ranger Buehler, is dealing with the injury bug. But I mean, we've kind of been dealing with the injury bug in our pitching rotation all year and still winning games. So the power of our offense, is, helping ease in those pains. So go Dodgers, and just hopefully postseason they'll be ready, because there are some good teams in the NL that could still, give us a run for our money. So while I'm confident, I'm not too cocky.
I'd like to think that my team is probably one of them. And as we will talk a little later in the show, we will see you this week, see what we got to offer as far as second best team in the NL at the moment. But we'll see. We'll see. Storms, how you doing, Brody? How's everything out there? Everything all right?
I'm good, man. Like Ty said, we're getting down to the stretch run. Everything is important. I love this time of year because it's some of these, well, not a lot of them, but a couple of these races are getting real tight, and one slip up can be it. So it's exciting to watch. For sure.
First and foremost out there, everybody, if you guys see the scroll, like, share, and subscribe our channel. We bring you good content here on the dish and also the scene. Speak baseball, football, basketball. Gonna branch out into hockey soon. We got a couple people that joined the group that are into hockey. Most importantly, Kyle, big Bruins fan. We'll see if we're able to get a couple people to talk about some hockey. And of course, 94 Feet of Life that does basketball. Basketball season's around the corner as well as football. So you're gonna see their faces a little more. But last week, guys, we got some 3 series we need to talk about. First, the series that's still going on at the moment. I'm going to let Ty take it away. Atlanta and Cardinals. Give us a little recap of what happened in that series, Ty, and what's going on tonight, man.
Yeah, so right now, the Braves and the Cardinals are like going at it like it's a heavyweight Joe Frazier-Ali bout, like just back and forth, slugging it out. No score in the 5th inning, and Cardinals and Braves are both, come out and, did their thing. Now, the first game, I will say, like, the Braves looked like, Stone Cold Steve Austin stomping a mud hole in them. I mean, it was brutal. So
yeah,
I'm pretty sure Trav was happy about that. But it was shocking to see, because you would think, with the small 1.5 game lead that the Cardinals have right now over their division, every game matters, and that was a slip up right there. So the first game was not exciting at all. Braves came out 11-4. Just a great all-around game, for the Braves. But then Cardinals came right back on yesterday. Kinley, of course, Big Ken, as Trav likes to refer to him, took the L as the Cardinals, won 6-5 and rallied that up. And right now we're just going to see who is, going to come out on top. And both teams need this win. You have the Braves, who are chasing the Mets. I believe they're 2.5 games back right now for the division. So you never want to be the wild card team. You want to win your division. That's the first goal. So one of the main reasons why I picked this series was, because of the playoff, situation in the playoff race. And you just want, good baseball, to be played all around. You want, your bats to be good. You want your pitching to be great. In this series, it hasn't been the most consistent, but that's postseason baseball in the essence as far as who can get momentum and run with it. Every at bat, every pitch, every glove matters. And that's what you're seeing in this series. So was I right in picking the series and it being exciting? So far, it's looking that way. Unfortunately, there was, a situation where one of the Braves players caught a line drive right to the head. It was scary. So definitely nothing that you want to see in the game, but it happens. It's just a concussion though, so that's great. So shout out to, that player. I forget his name, but at least, it's nothing too serious. You never really want to see those bang bang plays happen, but unfortunately it does. But like I said, good baseball here. Shout out to Trav, Dion Reed, J Ham. I'm pretty sure they're watching. I know they're watching.
Yeah, his name is Jack Stevenson. Yeah.
No, Jackson Stevens.
Oh, there you go. That's what it is.
Jackson Stevens.
Close. But yeah, man, the one big thing there, and shout out to Trav because he always likes to mention Jensen's whenever he comes in for as a closer, he couldn't close it out on Saturday's game. Walked in the winning run. And that was huge for the Cardinals. Maybe the Cardinals are able to take tonight and take 2 of 3. Who knows? We'll see. We got Jay Ham in the comments saying it's the Guru, Cat 5, and McRib. That's what he was saying. What's up, Ham? Thanks for watching, man. And category got an interesting pick last week as far as the series go. He picked the Mariners and the Guardians, but I like how Ty says Guardians. How do you say Guardians, Ty?
Guardians?
What's up, Storm? Speak to us about that, man.
Yeah, man. This series actually kind of went about the way I expected it to. The Mariners continue to prove that they belong in postseason baseball. They took 3 of 4. It was a great series to watch, though. It was kind of low scoring, fantastic pitching on both sides. All 8 starters recorded a quality start in that series. Yeah, and there was a lot of home runs too. 11 of the 20 runs in the series came by way of home run. They got actually today Ty France went 2 of 3 with a home run. So if that's a sign he might be breaking out of this slump, they're going to be real scary. So it's just one day though, so we'll see. But it's good to see. It's good to see a little production out of his bat. So I gotta look at it again. I think it was Castillo went 8 innings the other night. I don't know. Robbie Ray went 7 shutout today, only allowed 3 hits, and he had his stuff working. I mean, they both, like I said, both starting staffs just put on a clinic. So if you're a fan of pitchers duels, if that ends up being a matchup in the postseason, it's going to be a good series to watch.
Who ended up winning that series?
Mariners, 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. Nice. Yeah, we said the Mariners probably going to take that series, and we were right. So 3 or 4 for the Mariners. That's a hell of a series for them, and they're in the thick of things. They're still in the 3rd spot as far as the wild card goes. And the series that I picked was a team that's right behind the Mariners for the last spot in the wild card, which was the Orioles and the Astros. I thought it was going to be more high scoring than what the series was. The Orioles, the starting pitching, man, or their pitching overall, they only allowed 4 runs in the 3-game series. They shut them out in game 1, 2-0 Orioles, and actually their pitcher Bradish went 8 innings, allowing 2 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. That's a great outing by Bradish. And then yesterday, the Orioles ended up winning 3-1 behind another great quality start in Kremer. I don't even know how to say his name. I think I said it right. Kremer. 7 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts. And Batista was lights out, pitching an inning in the third, and 3 strikeouts, striking out 3. And today, obviously the Astros took 1. They wanted up flipping the script and taking the game 3-1. And the Orioles wound up taking 2 of 3. Like I said before, like I said last week's show, get them early, get them often. That's what the Orioles did. They took the first 2 because Verlander went today, even though Verlander actually was hurt. He was hurt in the 3rd inning. Looks like a calf strain or something. We were talking about it before we got on the show. He's going to have to get an MRI. Let's see how much time he's going to miss with that, man. We know a calf strain or a calf pull, whatever you want to say, it can linger for a pitcher, especially if it's off of the leg you push off on the mound. I don't know if it's his left or right leg, but that can be huge implications as far as the playoff goes for the starting rotation for the Stros. I hope he doesn't really miss any time. I hope he misses a start or 2, and the Stros are smart as far as bringing him back and not rushing him. Because the playoffs this year, as we know, the top 2 teams on each side get a bye. So that only gives them more time to rest. So we'll see about that. You guys want to add anything here? As far as actually, Ty, right now, the Braves and Cardinals games, we got a pitcher's duel, and we have a no-hitter going. We have a no-hitter going for Atlanta in the 5th inning, heading into the 6th, actually.
And now Trav knows who to blame when it falls apart.
I hope it does. So that's the first segment of the show that we want to talk about, the series that we picked, because actually we actually hit on all 3 series. We said what was going to happen and wound up happening exactly how we said was going to happen, except for this 3rd game, because obviously it's not over yet, but we'll see.
Also, just worth noting, we've talked a lot about how well the Orioles have played here lately, but that gives them 4 consecutive series wins over now the Blue Jays in Toronto, the Red Sox, the White Sox, and in Houston. There was a 1 game against the Cubs in there that they lost, but still.
That's fantastic. Wow. Like we said last show, these are the young kids that don't know win or lose. And if they make it into the wild card, that they can pose a problem or a threat for any team there. Let's move on to this guy that just got paid
a lot of money,
really well.
Paid.
Yeah, paid really well. And honestly, probably one of the best contracts we've seen in baseball in a long time, both for the organization and also for the player, potentially for the player. And I'm going to let Storms take it away with the details. Go ahead, Storms, let them know who we're talking about and what we're talking about.
So I really like this deal and the way it's structured, but it is like crazy complicated. There's like potentially like 5 or 6 different ways that this deal can play out. So the absolute guaranteed part is 8 years, including this year, for was it 120 million. At the end of year 7, the team has to decide. There's 2 different options. They can trigger another 8 years or another 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
If they decide not to pick up either of those options, Julio can pick up another 5 years for 90 million. The deal can top out at 470 There's all kinds of incentive triggers, MVP voting. I think if he finishes top 4, if he finishes top 5 4 times, that's one of the big bonus clauses. Let's see. I'm looking at the tweet right now. The team option is for 8 or 10 years on top of the original deal. Depending on how he fares in MVP voting, wins and finishes, it can range anywhere from 200 to 350 million if the Mariners pick up that option. Then the minimum guarantee if the Mariners pick up the team option is $320 million. So one way or another, he's getting either 210, 320, or up to 470 from there. I love this because if he turns down the player option and the Mariners don't pick up the team option at all, then he hits free agency right before he turns 30. So if he performs the way the Mariners think he's going to, he could end up with even more money by that point. I feel like this may be the way that we see all long-term extensions structured. Not exactly this way necessarily, but I feel like Tatis screwed up just straight extension deals for everybody. You know, they just gave him all this money, and then he turns around, he gets in a motorcycle accident, he misses half a year. He's about to come back, and he picks up a PED suspension for the second half. I seriously think if that didn't happen, this deal wouldn't be anywhere near as complicated as it is. But the Mariners need to protect themselves, so I get it. So, but this is a fantastic deal for both the team and the player, I think.
Yeah, to throw also to piggyback off of what you said, I think this is also the way of the small market teams. This is the way the small market teams are going to have to play. Pay off of what you do for us, not what you've done, and pay off of incentives, more off of incentives. Because, like you said, if he finishes 4 or 5 MVP votings, he gets it's kind of like an escalator. It keeps going up and up as far as the salary goes. So that's fantastic.
One thing, MVP voting is going to determine whether the team option ends up being 8 or 10 years. It's not something that they can decide on at that point.
It's still fantastic either way you look at it. And this is before I throw it over to Utah, this is another kind of deal of a player betting on himself, knowing what he can do and saying, I'm going to be in MVP voting 4 or 5 years. That's awesome. That's fantastic. You know, he's saying, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get paid. Go ahead, Ty.
I think, though, a missing piece of this is let's give praise and shout out to the Seattle fan base. It's not, common that you see small market teams be able to hold on to franchise talent, but Seattle's never had a problem with that. You look at, the last franchise player they had in Ichiro, very loyal. So when you look at a guy who's young, hasn't even hit his prime yet, but is, not backing down from that pressure of performing and responding to the love of the fans, he signs that extension that night. Seattle Mariners fans are giving him a standing ovation. Like, that's love. And I think that's why this was easy to get done so soon and for so long, because he's happy to be there. They're making the kid feel welcome. Well, I won't say kid, the young man feel welcome. So that's important. And if you can do that at a franchise level with your fan base and the potential you have and the direction that you're going as far as building around this key guy and having, top tier talent, deals like this can be done sooner rather than later, because the Mariners were smart about this. You don't want a player of this caliber hitting free agency and probably mirroring what Juan Soto just did. and having, all the leverage. Not saying that Rodriguez would be that type of person, but you never know. So as long as the Seattle fans are making, it known how much they appreciate their players, top tier talent can stay. And I would say that's a shout out to Mariners fans. I only know one, but he's loyal. And yeah, I think that was the most important piece of this puzzle and getting this deal done, was just how much the city has embraced him and how much he has embraced the city and how he wants to deliver for the city. You love to see it in sports.
Hey,
No,
that's a good.
it still baffles me that Mariners fans are just that great, and yet the A's go to the playoffs over and over and over and can't put 6,000 people in the stands on a Wednesday.
In all their sports, though, you hear it. Though you hear it with the Seahawks, you hear it with the Storm and the WNBA. So the teams that Seattle does have, bring back the Supersonics. Just saying NBA, but the teams that they do have, they show up and they show out. Fans still do matter, and fan bases still matter.
Even the MLS, the Seattle Sounders packed that stadium, and they are so loud. You're right. It's just a hell of a sports city.
You took the words out of my mouth, Storms, with saying that they're a hell of a sports city, and you too, Ty, by saying the Supersonics. So the Supersonics is the one franchise that left, and everybody was upset when they left. They really shouldn't have never left. And good call, Ty. I never really thought of that. The Seattle Mariners are really good at keeping fan-loving meaning players that fans love, and that change the franchise. Another one that comes to mind is King Felix.
Yep, I was just gonna say him, man. To be a pitcher of his caliber, and I mean, of course, you don't think of it this way when you're the one competing, but kind of willingly staying in a place where he knew his career wasn't going anywhere other than his personal accolades. It says a lot, because those guys want to win at all costs. So it says a lot for a guy to know that I'm probably not going to get a shot to win a World Series, but I want to play here.
It says a lot about a franchise too. I say it all the time. People are willing to take a small pay cut if they're treated right. And I think it's true, especially with this franchise. You've seen it over and over and over again, not only because of the franchise, probably because of the fans too. And shout out to JRod, man, for first off, taking this deal. Secondly, his agent for whatever he did or how he tucked this deal into the Mariners, and the Mariners also negotiating and making this, like you said, Storms, more likely deals of the future. There's going to be more to come just like this. And JRod, even though he only has 430 at bats in the show, he deserves this money, man. He's worth it. I
want to know how many hours went into making that deal. Not just the negotiations, but like when the Mariners first assigned somebody to sit down and figure out, like, what's this going to have to look like. With the deal being that complicated, if you had to guess, I bet total there's probably 100 man hours into it.
I was going to say weeks. Yeah.
Especially for a rookie deal, like that's even baffling. So this is a rookie deal we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And how about this? So a name you said, Storms, and if he was probably a little patient, he would have got a deal just like this. When you mentioned his name, Wander Franco. I think, kudos to Tampa Bay, obviously, for signing him and not letting him go and signing for the money that they did. But if he would have waited, I think he would have gotten something like this, because they got him dirt cheap, honestly. They really did. And if he would have waited, I think he would have had a contract similar to this, because them two in the AL, it's going to be for years to come as far as AL MVP voting. What do you think, Storms?
I think so. I think a certain catcher from Baltimore is going to be part of that conversation too. I also, and I made a post about it in the dish group, but I also think he's probably going to be our next rookie to sign a big extension. Or our next guy from this class. May not happen this year, but
and he deserves every bit of it from what he's shown so far. What you got to say, Ty, about that?
I think you're right. He deserves it, and I think when you have the transition of young talent stepping out and taking over, like that transition of where a lot of the players we've known and have performed for years, some for even decades, are about to transition out. Some are hitting their twilight years, some are getting out of their prime. It is important to invest in young top tier talent, which the league is doing. Like most of your guys that are becoming the faces of their franchises are 26 and under now. So pay the young people. Do it.
I'm just picturing both Wander and Kevin Cash like getting the news about Julio's deal, both reading Twitter and having the same reaction. You can do that.
Oh, you know it's happening, because as soon as these deals are done, you're seeing across tickers, you're seeing on a headline, so you can't escape it. And they're like, huh? Really?
I'm sure. Like, yeah, I'm sure Wander feels like he left some money on the table right now.
Yeah, for sure. And he was the top guy coming up, and everybody was talking about him. And when we finally saw him last year, it was like, wow, he lived up to the hype.
I'm sure his agent got a phone call after that news broke too.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm 100% sure. Wanda's like, what were we doing?
But I think in Wander's situation, though, just to bring it up, the one thing that's different is just that JRod has endeared himself to the fan base. He's, interacting and creating a brand for himself outside of what, was hyped up about him before he even stepped into the show. Yes, he backed it up with, his performance, but he's still, giving love back to the fans, signing autographs, staying within the community, branding himself, marketing himself, in a good fashion. So that's one thing all players need to do if they want, to command the big money, is make sure that these GMs and when it comes to contract negotiations know that, okay, you're going to put butts in the seats, but you're also going to sell jerseys.
That's a good point. And another thing about that too is the Rays have had just such a next man up culture for years now, and they've got a proven track record with player development, and maybe it wasn't quite like, okay, if we don't hit a home run on this deal, we'll be all right kind of attitude. Yeah,
that also goes back to what you were saying, Ty, about ass and seats. That unfortunately the Rays, for as great of a franchise that they've been, with lesser players that are not really marketable, still make noise in that division. For some reason, year in, year out, look at what they're doing now. Don't cut the lead to 7.5 games behind the Yankees, even though, let's say what it is, they're a lesser team, and they still have a shot at the division. And, it is what it is. And now to bring up news of as far as what's going on in the Braves St. Louis game, the no-hitter's over with, and St. Louis is up 2-0. So, yeah, I broke that up. You're welcome.
Thank you, Jorge.
For you guys, that's an inside joke. It happens every single time when I say it in this chat. When I say a no-hitter, usually a hit comes about an inning or two afterwards. It always happens. Always.
It's always you. It's always you.
It's always you.
Yeah, it is. That's why I stopped saying it the last couple of times, because I don't want to get blamed for it. So,
and the last couple ones lasted longer too.
Yeah, they did. But yeah, so now we're gonna go to the portion of our show to where we give you guys a series that's coming up before our Thursday show. Whether it's a series that starts tomorrow, 4-game series, or a 3-game series that starts Tuesday. But I'm gonna kick it over to Ty, man. Ty, what do you got a series in mind that you want to look at What do you got?
All right. So how do I top myself? Because I think I was dead on with picking like the series to watch, but it was easy last week. So how do I top myself this week? Couple of games and series I had my eye on, but I think the one that's going to probably be the most intriguing, just for wild card implications. Does the Padres free fall continue against the Giants? I want to know. You hate to see it, but for me, it's just one of those things. Okay, how is this going to impact the wild card race?
Don't like that, Ty. You're like this.
I've never heard irony in someone's tone of voice until Ty said, "You hate to see it" about the Padres,
and with the smile on his face.
I mean, because this, like, if I was a Padres fan, and I know a few, oh man, when the trade happened, they were like, doing backflips, like hardball. We go into the ship talk, and it was like, oh, Dodgers didn't do anything at the trade deadline. Well, how do you feel now?
How about Hader?
Yeah, man.
Oof.
Hader gave up another 6 runs today. He recorded only 1 out on 34 pitches in the 8th inning. So for those of you and I was actually kind of one of them, thinking you take him out of the closer role, let him find himself again. Sometimes that's all it takes is being put in a little bit less of a high leverage situation. But man, 1 out and 6 runs on 34 pitches is not a good look. His ERA with the team's up to 25.71 now. And it wouldn't be so bad if you didn't give up your closer to get him.
Mm-hmm. I was on that bandwagon too, man, saying Hader out of the closer spot. Maybe he does better, and he's been a lot worse. He's looked horrible.
I mean, like literally, like the Padres. It's like you could say how things are going for them right now. It's a free fall. Like that. That's just the word. Everything's gone downhill for it. I mean,
like if I told you 2 months ago that obviously you can't afford to do it this late in the season. You got to keep all your best arms available. But if I told you 2 months ago that there was a point this year where we would start to wonder if Hader was playing well enough or poorly enough to get sent down, you'd have thought I was crazy.
Nuts.
Right.
Yeah, that or that the Padres would be a worse team with Bell, Hader, and Soto. Like that's what? You would have looked at me like I was crazy. Like that doesn't make any sense.
But in addition to the bullpen blues that the Padres are dealing with, there's going to be there could be potential for good pitching duels in this series. I mean, you got Snell versus Webb, which is going to be entertaining on Tuesday. I think, or I hope. We'll see which Snell you get. And then Wednesday, you got Musgrove and Wood. So potential there for some entertaining, pitching duels. But if I'm a Giants fan, I smell blood in the water. I'm like, I'm going to put the Padres out their misery. And if you're the Padres, you wonder, can they dig themselves out of this hole and still keep themselves in the wild card race? Because you're not going to win the division. So everything's for the wild card or nothing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, it wasn't just that Hader was getting hit today. 15 of those 34 pitches were balls.
Whoa.
So it's just all bad.
He's all over the place.
I know this actually isn't all that uncommon, but I find it kind of funny that after all that, Will Myers took the mound and got the final 2 outs in 9 pitches.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Time to move Myers into the pen. I think it's about time. Storms, what do you got for a series for everybody to look out for, man?
Oh, I was just going through the schedule, and honestly, that was the one that caught my eye too. I really want to see him turn it around, because I want to see what a Manny Machado, Juan Soto led team looks like in October. But I don't know, like, what if you were Bob Melvin, what would you do to fix your bullpen right now?
It's been an issue all year. I don't think he's gonna fix it. No, it's been an issue all year, and that's the reason why they got Hader, and Hader isn't doing what he's supposed to be doing. So
and if you don't watch out, your old team is going to take your wild card spot.
Well, and it's like, it was, so, hindsight being 2020, it's like, yeah, I know they were prepping to send half their farm system away for Soto, but if you already have had a questionable bullpen all year, yeah, go out and get some help, but don't trade away your best bullpen arm to get him.
Yeah, I think the only thing that will help their pen is when they get to the playoffs and Snell's able to come out of the pen, to be honest with you. And that comes playoff time, and who knows if they make the playoffs the way they're playing right now.
I think Clevenger is going to be the one coming out of the pen.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. So my series to look out for, and my series, the reason why is because I think either midweek or by the time we go on the show Thursday, we're going to have a new division leader in the Central. I think the series to look out for is going to be the Orioles Guardians. That starts on Tuesday. It's a 3-game set. And I think the Orioles are going to take 2 of 3, or maybe even sweep the Guardians. And we're going to see the Twins, who play the lowly Red Sox. I'm sorry, Kyle, but they are. And I think the Twins are going to be in first place come Wednesday, Thursday of next week. I think the Orioles are too good. Well, not too good. A young team, like we kept saying. And is going to get on a little bit of a roll here. And the series starts Tuesday with Watkins and Quintrell going at it. And then Lyles and McKenzie going on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we have Bradish, who just pitched the 8 innings shutout against the Stros, going against Bieber, which Bieber, he's on and off. He's depends, see what he gives you. But I think the Orioles wind up taking at least 2 out of 3 in that series, and probably have a new division leader coming into Wednesday, Thursday. That's
good series. Good series.
By the way, if we're doing predictions, I got Giants taking 2 out of 3.
What do you got, Ty, in your series?
I want to say Padres pull 2 out of 3. I think they'll rise to the challenge, and maybe their starters will give them, some nice innings. Maybe getting a couple runs will be close. As long as the bullpen doesn't blow it, they'll pull 2 out of 3.
I'm just looking at the starter matchups. You got Snell against Webb for the opener, Musgrove against Wood, and then Clevenger Rodon for the opener, and then Snell, Logan Webb, and Musgrove against Wood.
I think Clevenger needs to win that first one, but Rodon has been hot.
Yes.
Yeah, so I got the Giants winning the first 2 and Musgrove picking up game 3.
So you got Giants taking 2 or 3?
Yep, first 2. It is in San Francisco too, for what it's worth.
Okay, so I'll put in mine too. I go with Giants taking 2 of 3. I think the Padres just are flat out playing bad ball, and their pen blows one of those games, the first 2 games, and they wind up taking 2 or 3. Yep, I agree with Storms. Guys, anything you guys want to add before we close the show out?
Just in big news, I think we should talk about for those who still collect baseball cards. Hold on to your damn cards.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
what's the big breaking news story?
Can I tell it? Because like I was amazed. I saw this, I was like, really? Like you first of all,
where was this found?
In an attic. So granted, Storms can also back me up on this and how great of a condition. This is a 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle card. This card is like pretty much the holy grail of most collections and for collectors. And this card sold for a record-breaking $12.6 million, making it the most anyone has ever paid for any sports card, memorabilia. So when you think of memorabilia, you're thinking of signed balls, you're thinking of signed jerseys. A card.
Yeah.
So Tom Brady's last football didn't even sell that much.
Let's say that again.
Before.
A piece of, I don't know, paper, cardboard, whatever. It's cardboard. How much again, Ty? Say it again.
12.6 million.
So this the previous record for a sports card was a T206 Honus Wagner card that sold for $7.25 million.
So pretty much you doubled it, almost.
Can I like cut a piece of cardboard and like draw a face on it and get sold that much?
Now this
keep your cards, kids. Keep
this card. This card was sent to a grading company and it came back as a 9.5 out of 10, meaning it was in mint condition, but not quite perfect. So, but it is.
That's damn near perfect.
Yeah, and it is, as I'm sure you guys guessed, the highest grade that card, any of those cards, the 1952 Mantles have ever received.
Kids, you guys are watching this, so scroll by this channel and pick up this little snippet, video, whatever. Keep your damn baseball cards.
Yes.
Millionaire for collecting baseball cards. And this card was found. It was found in the damn attic. What?
What's even more just hilarious. So this is, Mickey Mantle is a Yankees legend, right? The owner of this collection is a Boston fan. So shout out to Alan Mr. Mint Rosen. He's a Boston collector. And he has a few of these. Yeah, 12.6 million.
Hell, if I was him, I'd shout out the Yankees for buying me Red Sox tickets for life.
Right?
Man, that and just be like, you know what? I don't need to do shit for the rest of my life off of one card. Damn. He basically won the lotto without playing the lotto. That's what he did. Man.
Hey, speaking of the lotto, that was like $1.34 billion winning ticket hasn't been claimed yet for the Mega Millions.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh man. Somebody go in somebody's attic and find that ticket, please.
And hold on, I have to correct myself here. Because I was just looking at the article again. Rosen initially had this card. He sold it before back in 1991. Got it back and then flipped it again for $40,000 to an Anthony Giordano. So Anthony Giordano, 30 years after that transaction in 91, has got the 12.56 million. So it wasn't Mr. Mint. He sold it back in 91 for 40,000. Bonehead decision.
Oh,
you could have had 12 million.
Oh, Mr. Mint.
Hold on to your cards, people.
Your stomach is turning right now, sir.
I mean, 40,000 back in 91, that's nice, but 12 million in 2022 sounds a lot better.
That's much nicer.
Yes. And what would you do, Storms, if you sold a card back, in the day and you find out like it just sold right now for 12 million? Like what if it was like a card like you traded at like recess or something?
Oh man, I think I'd take that to my grave.
I just saw Storm's face and I was like, he ain't saying shit.
He's like, I'll never admit to it. It never happened.
Well, you know how that goes though. If you tell people, they just won't believe you anyway.
That's a good point. A good point. Kids, once again.
I had that card, man. I can't stand him. He's always saying that shit.
Hold on to your damn cards. The dish is officially telling you to hold on to your damn cards. Storms, what do you got to add to it, man? What's your closing thought, buddy?
I wish I had a 1952 Mickey Mantle card. That's my closing thought. That's my closing thought. I'll take a Honus Wagner though.
Hey guys, this is always fun. Listen, we try to bring you these shows, have fun, talk baseball, bring you stats, bring you facts without all the other bullshit. You see it all the time. Storm's over here collecting cards on his own, and hopefully, Storms, we have a reveal to where you get one of those cards. That'll be fantastic. That'll be awesome.
Yes, it will.
And then we'll be coming to you live from a studio instead of live from our living rooms.
I pulled a nice little Teoscar Hernandez autograph the other night.
You showed it in the chat. That was nice. That was
dope.
Did I? Yeah, that was dope. But getting back to what we were saying, hey, we got the dish on Facebook. Join us, everybody, every baseball fans, invited. If you ever want to come on the show after joining the chat, the group, you're always invited. Come talk about your team. Get it, like we said, had a segment with Jeremy Knight. Get it off your chest so you can talk about your team if you want to. If you want to talk about somebody else's team, whatever. But make sure that you bring the heat, because we have a fan for almost every team in the chat, and I'm sure they'll respond one way or another to you. And like I said, you see the faces. We're here to talk baseball. Ty through, always talking about food. His McRibs nuggets, as you can see in the dish. And then category with his, he's the one that brought you what was going to happen with the Red Sox, and it came to life. I'm sure he's going to give us one here at the end of the year, or maybe even playoff time. And as you know, me, the guru here, I just like to talk baseball. That's all. With these guys, we make it fun, make it just have fun, smile, and share with you guys. But anyway, we're gonna go signing off. Guru, Ty, category. See you next time.